Hello, everyone. Greetings from in Uni, UK. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. My name is Degina Wetherill, and I'm the Director of Recruitment within in Uni UK Division, a company of global university systems overseeing international students recruitment for a number of our UK partner universities. Today, we will be talking specifically about our premium partner universities, beautiful Canterbury Christ Church University in the Garden of England in Kent, and you can see a beautiful Canterbury Cathedral in my background, and that's where the graduations take place. I'm excited to be joined by my colleague from the university, Richard Venner, International Business Development Manager. Hi, Richard. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Degina. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Richard has just got back from South Asia, so straight to our webinar. Amazing, thank you. And we also have our in-uni marketing team, Sukanya and Chinks in the background, helping us to run this webinar smoothly. Just few housekeeping rules before we start. You're all on mute. If you'd like to ask any questions, feel free to do so. Just pop them into the Q&A section. So that's Q&A section rather than chat section, and we will take them from there at the very end of the webinar. So I really hope you can stay with us till the end of the webinar. The session is also being recorded, so in case if you miss anything, you can always revisit it later as well. Thank you, and it's over to you, Richard. The stage is yours.
Oh, thanks very much, Degina. Thanks for the lovely introduction. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm going to give you an overview of Canterbury Christ Church University, and then at the end of the webinar, there'll be time for any questions that you might have. So without further ado, let me share my screen and let's get into the webinar. So as Degina said, my name is Richard. I'm an International Development Manager at Canterbury Christ Church University, and it's my pleasure to speak to you today both about Canterbury Christ Church and about Canterbury as a study destination. It's really easy for me to talk about Canterbury because I'm a Canterbury boy. So I was born in Canterbury, I grew up in Canterbury. I even studied my master's at Canterbury Christ Church University. So yeah, it's really, really easy for me to talk about Canterbury as a study destination. Canterbury is a beautiful historic city. And as Degina said, it's in the Garden of England in the county of Kent. Do you know why Kent is called the Garden of England? Can you guess? Well, the reason is because it's very green, lots of beautiful countryside and stunning coastline as well. And Canterbury itself, as I said, is a very, very historic, lovely city. There are many, many activities that you can do in Canterbury. Degina, I don't know if you tried, did you try punting when you visited Canterbury?
Um, no, I don't think I have. No, not yet. Maybe this summer we should definitely do that.
Perfect. I will take you punting in the summer when you come to Canterbury. So
Sounds
you
like a
can see
plan.
perfect. You can see the punt on the river there. That's a lovely activity that you can do in the summer in Canterbury. There are many, many historical places in Canterbury, including many restaurants, cafes, bars and shops. And as you can see in Degina's background and on my slide, Canterbury Cathedral is an incredible building, and we have our graduation ceremonies inside the cathedral, making it an extremely memorable day for our graduates and for their families as well. The beach is 20 minutes away from Canterbury in the car or on the bus. Again, a beautiful place to visit all year round. In the winter time, if you enjoy a bracing walk by the sea, and of course in the summer, if you want to go for a swim. So here's an overview again of Canterbury. It's located in the southeast of England. It's 1 hour from London on the train, so a great location. There are 3 universities in Canterbury, which makes Canterbury very, very safe, very, very student friendly, fun, and multicultural as well. So, stunning beaches, fascinating history, picturesque countryside, wonderful shopping, exciting festivals all year round, and outstanding sport as well. If you're a fan of cricket, for example, Canterbury is home to the Kent cricket ground where the Kent cricket team play their cricket. And yeah, the Kent cricket stadium is a 10-minute walk from Canterbury Christ Church campus. So, Canterbury Christ Church University, we are a very, very modern university within the historic city of Canterbury. The first picture shows the main Canterbury campus. It's a beautiful campus, only a 5-minute walk from the city centre. The centre picture is Augustine House, which is our award-winning library building. Augustine House is an incredible building, and I'll show you more pictures later in the presentation. And the final picture is Verena Holmes, which is our £65 million STEM building, which is a new building. And let me introduce it to you now. So Verena Holmes is where we deliver many, many exciting courses with outstanding modern facilities. We have a medical school in Verena Holmes. We have our computing courses in Verena Holmes, so computing, cybersecurity and technology, data intelligence, all delivered in our brand new computing laboratories and classrooms. Sports science is delivered in Verena Holmes with some of the best sports science facilities in the country. We have other natural sciences as well, and of course our suite of undergraduate and postgraduate engineering courses as well. And finally, here is a photo of our main Canterbury campus with the cathedral in the background you can see to the left. This is Augustine House, our award-winning library building. Augustine House is a very modern library. It's filled with both quiet spaces for quiet study and also collaborative spaces as well, where you can work together, learn together with your friends and with your classmates. So here's an overview of Canterbury Christ Church University. We have around 15,000 students and around 1,800 members of staff. We have 3 campuses, Canterbury Medway and Tunbridge Wells. And at the moment we have 3 faculties: Arts, Humanities and Education, Medicine, Health and Social Care, and Science, Engineering and Social Sciences. We offer many, many different undergraduate and postgraduate courses. Let me give you a very quick overview of our subject areas. So CCCU for you. Creative design, business and management, engineering and computing, healthcare, public health and social care. Humanities, law, policing and criminal justice, media, music and performing arts. Sciences, social sciences, sport, exercise and rehabilitation sciences. Teaching, education and childhood, tourism, events and hospitality. And we are really excited to introduce and present to you over the coming weeks courses both at undergraduate and postgraduate level across all of these subject areas with our weekly webinars. And of course, the weekly webinars will be hosted by our amazing academic staff who will present the courses to you. There are many incentives as well to be a student at Canterbury Christ Church University, including free gym membership if you live in our student accommodation, the chance to work on our CCCU Student Ambassador Program, a great way to earn money and gain important skills around your studies. Your student card as a student will offer many local offers in shops and restaurants and bars, and there are many transport discounts as well for our students. Okay, let's move on. In 2023, Canterbury Christ Church University was #1 for graduates in work, #1 for employability in the UK, an accolade that we are extremely proud of. We are extremely strong in the area of employability, with all of our courses being very industry-led, and employability skills are embedded across our curricula from start to finish, supported of course by our employability and skills team. We have many initiatives to upskill our students and help them become extremely employable graduates, including something called GradForce, our bespoke employability program. We have Unitemps, our in-house recruitment service, and as I spoke about a few slides ago, our student ambassador program. There are many, many more things as well that contribute to our #1 for employability in the UK. There just isn't time now to talk about them all, so this is just a brief overview. Many extracurriculars at CCCU as well, including many different sports clubs, cricket, basketball, cheerleading, football, boxing. And if you're not sporty, don't worry, we have many, many other societies as well, including Film Society, Harry Potter Society, and even our International Student Society. Remember that the majority of our students are also British students, local students from Kent and from the surrounding area. Of course, we also have a very, very strong international community of students representing over 100 different countries, which means that our International Student Society is a fantastic society to join. Okay, scholarships are of course very, very important, and for 2025 we're offering our International Student Scholarship of £1,500. The thing to mention about our International Student Scholarship is that this scholarship is applicable for every year of study. So if you're doing a 3-year undergraduate programme, you will receive across your 3 years £4,500. So our International Student Scholarship reduces our tuition fees to a very, very affordable £14,000 per year. Of course, when you come to Canterbury Christ Church, you have a couple of options in terms of your accommodation. You can rent privately, or you can take advantage of our incredible student accommodation. Remember that Canterbury is a city, but it's a relatively small city. In fact, you can walk across Canterbury very, very quickly in under half an hour. This means that our city locations are very, very accessible. You can walk from all of our student accommodation sites to our main campus and to Augustine House, our library. I wanted to introduce 6 reasons, 6 benefits of choosing our student accommodation. Of course, living in our student accommodation, it's really easy to make friends for life. You'll have your own room with a private bathroom, but you'll have a shared kitchen area where you can cook together with other students and make friends. Our student accommodation has 24-hour security, so it's very safe. There are no summer rent or bills. All bills will be included, and you'll have full access to our gym from September, if you're a September starter, through to January. You're also guaranteed a room as an international student, and it's a very, very affordable choice with prices starting from £124 per week. This makes Canterbury, I believe, a very, very affordable option as a study destination. Let me show you some pictures of some of our student accommodation. Here's Canterbury City with our accommodation site shown. Petros Court is a new accommodation facility right behind Augustine House, the library. In fact, it's 2 minutes walk from your bedroom straight into the library. We have the St George's Centre as well, a very popular choice right in the centre of Canterbury, a 5-minute walk from the high street and all of the shops, and also a 5-minute walk from the library and a 5-minute walk from our main Canterbury campus. Pin Hill, Lanfranc House, and of course we also have many adapted rooms as well in the St George's Centre, in Petros Court, and in our university houses. The application process is very simple. As soon as you receive your unconditional offer, you can apply for our accommodation via our webpage portal. It's very, very easy to apply, and for any questions that you might have, you can reach out to our accommodation team, both via the website, you can email them, you can even call them on the telephone. And also, to give you an idea of the different rooms and facilities, check out our website where you'll find some 360 photos and virtual tours as well. Don't forget as well to find CCCU on your favourite social media channel. Okay, that's accommodation. Remember as well, on our Canterbury campus, we have many, many food and restaurant outlets as well, where you can use your student card to pay for food and to pay for drink. So there are many, many different options available. If you're a foodie as well, a food lover like me, Canterbury has restaurants from all over the world, from traditional British cuisine to Indian food, Pakistani food, Chinese food, Japanese food, Mexican food, Turkish food, Spanish food, Korean food, literally food from all over the world. So as an international student, of course, you will face many challenges. We won't call them problems, we'll call them challenges because they are there for you to overcome. Here are some of the challenges that you will face if you're an international student. Housing, where will you live? Well, I think I've already addressed that and spoken about that in my presentation. Also, I've spoken about the food. What will you eat? How will you be graded? How will your assignments, your essays, your presentations be graded? What's the money and how much does everything cost? What's the weather like in the UK? It can rain. You definitely need an umbrella, but also in the summer we have beautiful weather as well in July and August. How will you interact in class? Will you be a passive learner? Will you be active? What is the academic skill requirement? What academic skills will you need? How will you find a part-time job? How can you earn money to supplement your bank account? And will you find that there's a language barrier? Will you understand British people? Will you understand other students with different accents? Well, I can safely say that at Canterbury Christ Church University, we have so many layers of support to help you to meet and overcome all of these challenges and more as an international student. So I believe we are very, very strong in our student support, both for international students and of course for British students as well. I believe we're a very caring and supportive university. How do I know this? I know this through testimonials from our graduates and also by speaking to our current international students as well. One thing to tell you is in our library building now, we have something called the Global Gateway. The Global Gateway is an area which is staffed by our international student ambassadors. Our international student ambassadors sit in our Global Gateway and they are there to help and support our international students. So it's a very warm and friendly and welcoming place that you can go if you have any questions, any problems, and you can talk to our international student ambassadors. It's particularly busy during our welcome periods. So we have 3 welcome periods during the year: May, September, and January. And during this time, when you arrive as an international student, you can come to the Global Gateway with any questions you have about your accommodation, your studies, your timetable. So lots of support available for you. There's lots of support online as well, which I'll talk about in a minute in my presentation, but we have a digital library. We have something called our Learning Skills Hub with online modules that I'll show you in a minute. We have professional services staff, including learning developers and research librarians, staff to help you with how to study. And we have academic English specialists as well to assist and support you with your academic English skills. You can book one-on-one appointments with our professional service staff, both face-to-face and online, and you can join webinars and group seminars as well. As a student at Canterbury Christ Church University, you will get a personal academic tutor, a PAT, who is your liaison person that you can go to talk about your studies. Also, we have an incredible peer mentor circle. You can be paired with another student from your course who can help and support you. So much support available. As I already mentioned, we have our student ambassadors who can assist and help. IT support as well is available to help with your laptop or with your Wi-Fi, your computing accounts and your email. And remembering as well that university in the UK is inclusive for everyone. So if you have a disability, we also have our student disability service to support you. And very, very importantly, we have 24/7 well-being support so that if you have a pre-existing mental health condition or if you need some well-being support, you're struggling a little bit with your mental health, we are here to help and support you 24 hours a day. So I'm really proud of that fact, and I'm really proud of all of the support that we offer to our students and to our staff as well. I mentioned online learning because I think online learning is really important for you as an international student, particularly before you arrive with us in Canterbury. There is so much that you can do online, remotely from your home country before you arrive to really prepare yourself for a soft landing in the UK and a soft landing at Canterbury Christ Church University. We have a learning skills hub, and you can access this, from your from your bedroom in your home country anytime. And the online learning involves doing some different modules, from planning an assignment to critical thinking, how to engage with feedback from your tutor, looking at plagiarism, how to avoid plagiarism, and a little bit about academic integrity, and also how to find your primary sources when you're researching and writing your assignments. We'll definitely share my PPT, my PowerPoint with you today, so you can click on all of the embedded links, and the embedded link on this slide will take you straight to our Learning Skills Hub. Have a look and have a read of this slide for a second. So we teamed up with Epigeum to produce an international student success program as well. This is available to you free of charge when you join us, with many bespoke and tailored modules that you can take, including things about homesickness as well, that you can study about to help support yourself and give you all of the necessary skills to succeed. This is a really important slide. So Unitemps is our in-house recruitment service. As an international student, it's very important to know that you can work for up to 20 hours per week during term time. And as I've spoken about, Canterbury is a historic, beautiful city in Kent, where tourism is a really major industry. So with tourism driving many part-time jobs, if you're proactive, you can easily find through Unitemps a part-time job in a restaurant, in a cafe, in a bar, in a hotel, both in Canterbury and in the surrounding villages and the surrounding towns. So Unitemps is a really important recruitment service, and it's located with an office in Augustine House in our library. Another way that we support our students, and another way to give you 24/7 access to support, is through CCCU Campus Connect. You can join many of our live Campus Connect sessions, where you can chat with our international student ambassadors, you can chat with our professional services staff, and you can connect as well with other new incoming students. You can join different community groups, both groups according to your personal interests and groups according to your course. So it's really easy to connect with other students just like you, from the same country or from a different country, from the same course or from a different course as well. So you can attend these informational events that are held very regularly, both before you receive an unconditional offer, but also you can join as soon as you receive that all-important unconditional or conditional offer. You can join Campus Connect using the link on the previous slide, and also using the QR code. So the key words that I wanted to just summarize my presentation with are employability, accessibility, and affordability. So accessibility, because of our location, Canterbury is a very accessible city, under 1 hour on the high-speed train from London. Canterbury is a small city, so you can walk everywhere. You don't need to spend money on a bus or a train or a tram or a taxi. You can walk to your classes, walk to the city centre very easily. Canterbury is a very affordable study destination when you compare it to a city like London. It's affordable in its cost of living. So, buying food, buying drink, going out, dining out. It's very, very affordable as well in terms of our student accommodation, starting from £124 per week, and very, very affordable in terms of our tuition fees as well. As I told you, we offer our international student scholarship of £1,500, which reduces our yearly tuition fees to £14,000. And finally, employability. In 2023, we were number one in the UK for employability, for helping our graduates to secure a job. So I have whizzed through that presentation at breakneck speed. I hope that you kept up with me. I hope that you found it interesting. So now I will stop sharing and I'll hand back over to Dagina for questions.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Richard. Great time management as well, and a lot of useful information. Thank you. And just a reminder to our partners and students, if we have students present here as well, we're still accepting applications for May intake. So we do have 3 programs available for May intake, MBA, MSc International Business, in global public health, and obviously a full portfolio of programs that Richard mentioned earlier for September 2025 intake. But if you would like to start early and you're interested in one of the programs mentioned, you can potentially consider coming to the UK and to CCCU earlier and start in May. So please do submit your application via your educational advisor, or if you are our partner, then via GAS Gateway at the soonest. If you have already done so and received initial conditional offer letter, please arrange consultation session at the soonest with the team on the ground so they can support and arrange any outstanding documents if not done so yet. If you have received your unconditional offer letter from the university already, then please book your precast interview at the soonest so we can then take you to the next stage of the process. When you do have your interview slot, please ensure you join at the right time. It's normally mentioned as per the UK time because precast interview is conducted by CCCU team themselves, so they're based in the UK. So please ensure you join at the right time. Please use your laptop to join the interview. We did see some instances where there was a technical issue if the mobile phone was used instead of laptop. So please use your laptop. It's advisable to attend your precast interview. If you've already cleared that, please ensure you've obviously arranged your deposit payment, complete your CAS request if done already. And the university is already issuing CASs for May intake, and they should be able to start issuing CASs for September from around April time, so 6 months prior to the start date of the program as per the UKVI regulations. We already have some successful visas for May intake, which is amazing. So the sooner you apply for visa, the better, because obviously you have plenty of time to secure your visa, to secure your accommodation as well, that Richard mentioned earlier, and you can arrive in the UK 1 month prior to the start date if you would like to explore UK a little bit, and then you can join your classes on time as well. All right. Okay, so that's just a few reminders on our side, and let's see which questions we have. Right. Which campus is for sports programs? Where the sports programs offered, Richard?
Yeah, so the sports programs are offered on our Canterbury campus. And if you look in my background, you'll see Verena Holmes. So the sports programs are delivered in Verena Holmes behind me with some fantastic facilities. I think you saw some of the sports facilities, Dagina, didn't you, when you visited? They're really, really impressive, aren't they?
I did. And because it's still quite a new building, it was only open few years ago. So they are all very, very modern, and yeah, very, very impressive. So state-of-the-art facilities, which is great, and amazing views also from the top of that building, especially on a sunny day. If you go there in summer, it's really, really lovely, and you can see the whole of Canterbury, including Canterbury Cathedral as well. So it's really beautiful.
It is, and
Awesome.
the other thing, to interrupt you, Degina, the other interesting thing about studying sport as well at Canterbury Christ Church, of course, we offer physiotherapy as one of our undergraduate courses, and so we also offer free physiotherapy for students and staff. So the physiotherapy students practice their physiotherapy treatment and skills on students and staff. So if you're a keen sports person and you get an injury like me, you can go along and you can get free physio, which is a fantastic service actually.
That's a great incentive, actually, especially those who are into exercise, like me and like yourself as well, because physio can be quite expensive, and it's a good subject also to study, I guess, for students, because they can potentially then have very good earnings once they've graduated.
True.
Amazing. All right. So, study gap. How much study gap is accepted for entry into undergraduate degree? Well, the good thing about Triple CU, they do accept various study gaps. So, depending, whether you're applying for undergrad or postgrad, as long as you justify your study gap, it could be anything between 5 to 10 years, sometimes a little bit longer, but do ensure that you have a strong justification within your CV and within your personal statement as well. And obviously, you will need to provide reference letters too. So if you have been in employment, or maybe you studied additional program, or maybe you were doing some volunteering, or maybe you were just preparing for IELTS, please ensure you just provide some justification for your study gap. But other than that, they can consider study gap. So there is no strict guideline as to what study gap. There is no discrimination on age. So any applicants are welcome as long as you obviously meet the criteria and you can justify your study gap. Okay. There is a question about postgraduate certificate secondary program. I'm not sure, Richard, if you're able to cover it a little bit more, or perhaps we can just send this information later on.
Yeah, I mean, I can briefly speak about it, Degina. So
Sure.
PGCE is obviously a QTS qualification that someone can gain to become a qualified teacher and teach at, I think this person's asking at secondary level. So of course, to take a PGCE, you will need a first degree, an undergraduate degree. You'll need a certain level of maths and English as well in your qualifications. And when you apply, you'll also have to have a special interview as well. And you can choose from different subject areas. All of the subject areas are outlined on the sort of dedicated web page for the course. So yeah, really, really exciting course. Obviously, Canterbury Christ Church, we started as a teacher training college over 60 years ago. So our roots and our foundations lie in, education, and we offer an extremely high quality of PGCE courses.
Perfect. That's really helpful. Thank you. I can see there is a question about language cert. Unfortunately, a Triple CU does not accept language cert English test at present. However, you could potentially consider taking Oxford International, which you can do online as well. So it's quite convenient, and the results are normally out within 48 hours. So please look into that option, Usman. Thank you for your question. So study gap and age limit, I've already answered that. So there are various English tests that are being accepted by Triple CU. So Oxford International is one of them that I mentioned. There are obviously IELTS, Pearson, TOEFL. So if you have a look at the relevant university webpage, you can see all English tests listed there, or just reach out to our team on the ground. They would be happy to help. There's no internal English test as such. However, depending also where you're coming from, for example, if you come from India and you studied specific boards in India, that could also be considered as a proof of English. Deposit payment before pre-class interview or afterwards. I mean, ideally, it would be great if you arrange, obviously, your deposit payment at the soonest, so once you've received your unconditional offer letter, because it does take time to locate payments and to ensure it's allocated on the system, and then your profile is activated within the students, the university portal. For now, we do exercise a bit of flexibility. So if you're a little bit worried about your pre-class interview, and you would be able to arrange your payment promptly after your interview, we could also consider that. So for now, we can do that, but the sooner it gets to the deadlines, the closer, I mean, it gets to the deadlines, the less flexibility there would be. So you would have to arrange deposit before pre-class interview just to make sure that it's allocated. And once you've passed the interview, you can go ahead and submit your CAS request at the soonest, so you don't miss the deadline. Okay. Okay, I'll read into that question a little bit later because it seems to be quite long. Yeah, so language cert unfortunately is not accepted. I've answered that. Very productive session. Thank you so much, Bilaval. And thanks to obviously Richard for all the information. What are the requirements? Again, depending which program you're applying for, depending where you're coming from, there would be obviously different requirements in place. So please either double check the university webpage if you can't find the right information there, or the exact information, shall I say, that you need. Again, reach out to our advisors on the ground or your education advisor. They would be happy to help. For now, the university does not accept international students for the research programs, but that's something we are discussing with CCCU. So we will keep you posted if we have any further updates. And yes, I agree that would be an amazing option at CCCU. Okay, unfortunately, the university does not accept students from select area for now, and I think that's applicable to a number of UK universities due to various risks associated, and obviously every university is quite precious about their Tier 4 license, so they don't want to risk it. But again, if there are any further changes or updates on that, obviously we will keep you posted. So study gap, I've already answered. 3-year bachelor's accepted or not depends again where you're coming from and which program you're applying for, so that could be looked into on individual basis. Unfortunately, the university, like many UK universities, does not accept Duolingo, and it does not accept MOI at present. What is the class schedule for the MSc International Business, Richard? Any thoughts on that? Yeah.
That's an interesting question. I can give you a bit of insight on that. I believe that it's about probably 2 days per week of on-campus lectures, seminars, tutorials, and then the rest of the week would be dedicated to self-study, remembering that particularly at postgraduate level, being an independent learner is so important. So I think typically it's 2 days on campus, Degina, with obviously the rest of the week spent in the library, self-study, remote learning, etc.
Perfect. Thank you. That's really helpful. I think some of the questions seem to be the same. So the actual pre-class interview is conducted by the university team based in the UK. within a uni, we do conduct what's called consultation session, and that's just to prepare your students to ensure that they've done enough research, they are about their program studies, about the university, they know the financial side of things, and they would be able to pass not only the university interview, but also potentially UKVI interview, because we've seen quite few instances recently where students are being interviewed by the UKVI. So it's really, really important that your students go through that preparation. And if you are our partner, that you actually prepare your students well before they go to the next stage of the process, before they attend even consultation session. Major questions to focus on for precast interview. Again, just to reiterate, students need to be aware about the university, obviously the location, why they chose this university. And it's not just because it's got an amazing library, but also they need to be obviously more concrete answers. And they need to have done sufficient research about the course of studies. They need to know about their future plans, what finances they need to have to apply for CAS, for visa as well, and etc. etc. English test we already answered. If your student has been rejected previously by the UKVI based on the interview, meaning it's more to do with whether the student is considered to be genuine or not, it might be a little bit tricky. We could run this by the university compliance team to see whether they would accept it or not, but we would need to understand the situation fully first. Again, so the entry criteria will vary depending on the country. I can see there are some specific questions which are more like country related. So please reach out to our team on the ground if you can't find this information on the university website. Yes, so the good question here, does the university offer integrated foundation? Yes, there are two options. There is a foundation, which is a standalone foundation, for which you would need to provide UKVI, IELTS, or Pearson, so it needs to be SELT, but the English requirement is lower normally. But there is also integrated foundation, which is a single course for foundation plus bachelor's degree. And for that, normally the requirements are higher. However, you don't need to provide SELT. It can be just an academic IELTS, Pearson, or another English test accepted. So yes, thank you, Hamza. There are two foundation options available. Again, English test we already answered. There's lots of questions which are the same. MOI, Duolingo, we've already answered. Business. You can apply for a business degree. Bilaval, thank you for your question. So please submit your application via your education advisor, and we will go from there, and the admissions team will be able to make an assessment. Thank you. UUG, but she completes it. Well, again, it depends where the student is coming from. So I suggest you submit your application via your advisor. If you're an agency, please file your application via GAS Gateway. Please try to file as complete application as possible. So providing all the documents at the start, if at all possible, or at least the main one, so we can make a full assessment of your application, and then we'll go from there. So yes, some programs are offered with a placement. So depending on the course you're applying for, potentially placement could be offered, but you would need to double check whether your specific chosen course actually offers that option. Payment plan. Okay, so the only course that requires a full tuition fee prior to CAS is International Foundation, which is a standalone foundation. Other than that, all other programs, you can start with £5,000 deposit only. And then the next installment would be 50% of outstanding fees, which is £4,500 to be paid prior to enrollment. And then the next payment would be before your second term, so after your first term, which is another £4,500. So yes, installment plan is available if needed, or you can just pay all in one go and then your financial side is done, if that's easier. Scholarships. So scholarships, as Richard mentioned, is £1,500 available to all international students for both UG, PG and foundation as well. So again, there are questions which are very specific to the region. So please reach out to your regional business development manager on the ground. So they would be able to look into your qualifications and advise on those entry criteria. If there is a visa refusal, again, depending on the reasons, normally the university does issue refunds, unless there was something fraudulent that was provided. Okay, so that's answered. Is to pay when student arrives on campus. Payment before the start of the classes. So yes, so the amount I mentioned earlier, so 5,000 as a cash deposit. You apply for your visa, you need to ensure obviously you demonstrate outstanding fees for the first year on your bank account, and then you pay your first installment prior to enrollment, which is £4,500. Yes, before your classes start, before you're able to enroll. So study gap, in case if you joined later, Salman, as I mentioned earlier, there is a flexibility. So we can look into various study gaps as long as you can justify. Informative session, thank you. Research, of course, we already answered. Okay, in terms of the in-uni consultation, so the best thing to do, we have a dedicated interview team. So in case if my team on the ground might be traveling or conducting some recruitment activities, perhaps, the easiest thing to do would be to use the link. And again, my team can provide that link for booking the consultation conducted by in-uni team. And they can advise you further just to make sure you follow the right process. Foundation, we've already answered. Specific again. Oxford International Test is acceptable. Again, we need to look into specific courses, but normally it's a B2 level of English that's required. Any regional restrictions? So if we take, let's say, India into account, so there are a few restrictions currently, which is the north areas, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and also in South Hyderabad for now, but we're in discussion with the university to see whether there could be any changes to that. In Bangladesh, it's Sylhet. For now, and also we don't accept applications currently from Afghanistan due to the risk involved, unfortunately. Okay, we've answered that. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Okay. Structure. Masters in biotechnology. Richard, is it something that CCC offers for the upcoming intake?
We have a BSc Bioscience. I think this is the closest course, Degina, that we've got to biotechnology, but I don't believe we have an MSc in that.
Yeah, I can't see it on the website either, unfortunately. So yes, I'm sorry, it's not available at present, but if it's offered in future, obviously we would notify. Tell us about the fees. So we've already answered about the fees, the deposit. Did you want to reiterate on the employability ranking or any other rankings, Richard? There is a question here.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the employability ranking is an easy one for me to talk about. So 2023, we were number one in the UK for employability. Yeah, and I mean, course by course, courses are ranked. I mean, in terms of creative arts and industries, our games design and animation course is currently ranked third in the UK, which also is a very, very impressive position.
Amazing, perfect. Thank you. And obviously, employability is one of the most important rankings because, in the end of the day, for you and for your parents, it's all about return on investment, isn't it? And there is a question about post-study work visa. Yes, so in the UK, the graduate route visa is still available. So it's 2 years if you've completed successfully your undergraduate or postgraduate degree. You can apply for your post-study work visa, or as we call it, graduate route visa. You don't have to have a job offer, but given the support you are provided by the university's career services department, and perhaps if you go for one of the options available with placements, that would help you to actually secure your job offer as early as possible. So maybe even straight after graduation, which would be amazing. University required 28 days bank statement. Yes, correct. So that's actually UKVI requirement for your CAS issuance and for your visa application. If you have received your CAS already for May intake, please do not delay your visa application. It's really, really important. Your bank statement is only valid for 1 month. So please submit your visa application as soon as your CAS is received to ensure you don't have any further issues. Financials, again, the same question. Send me offer letter. Atosha, please just reach out to your advisor just to double check what's exactly is missing with your offer letter. And they will be able to look into that. No MRes or PhD programs at present for international students, I'm afraid, but there is a great range of postgraduate programs, taught programs, where some of them incorporate work placement as well. For example, programs like data science, I believe, it comes also with a 6 months optional placement, so that will actually help you to secure your job as soon as possible. We'll start providing costs for March, for September intake. Normally it's 6 months prior to the start date of the course. So it's around April time. They'll start issuing costs for September, but for now they already issue costs for May intake. So in case if you're considering applying, or if you've already applied for May intake, please submit your outstanding documents. Please arrange your consultation as soon as possible. I know it's Ramadan in some countries, so please try to work around, obviously, your schedule, but it's really important that you've cleared your consultation and you have received your unconditional and proceeded to the next stage of CAS letter at the soonest, just so that you don't delay your visa application and you can arrive in the UK on time. If my visa application was refused, if it was for triple CU, please submit it as soon as possible to your advisor, and we can check it from there with triple CU compliance team. But if it was due to the student being considered non-genuine, perhaps it will be a little bit tricky for the university to consider another cast. I'm really sorry to hear about your situation. So that's why it's really, really important, it seems, that you conduct, obviously, preparations for your students if your educational agency, and your students attend consultation sessions with in-uni team, so that they are not just double prepared, they're triple prepared for potential interview with the UKVI. So don't look at it as 2 stages of interviews. It's more to help you guys, to support you with potential UKVI interview, because I can see in quite few regions, students are actually being interviewed by the UKVI. And given, I think, this year, the volume might increase for the UK, I'm sure they would want to ensure that all students coming to study in the UK are genuine, are well prepared, they've done enough research, they know their future plans, they know about the financial side of things, etc. All right, well, great webinar. Thank you so much, Richard. I'll stop talking because we've now run out of time, but please stay tuned and we will see you at our next webinar. We'll have them pretty much on a weekly basis. Thank you so much once again, Richard, for very, very informative webinar straight after your trip to South Asia, and hope you managed to have some rest this week. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.